Hello, I'm Henry Thuss.
And I'm Cooper Schoenberg. Welcome to Fast Five, produced by the Indiana University Media School. And I gotta say, I'm a little sad, I'm a little emotional, because it's our last time doing the show. And we started off, you and I co-anchoring, and what better way to end it than you and I co-anchoring once again.
Truly a full circle moment. It's been great doing this. Jay and Mike have been awesome, and everyone behind the desk. So it's been fantastic. Well, let's do it for one last time. Start your timers, because our 5 minutes have begun. And we have a big one. The Indiana Hoosiers took on the Miami, Ohio Redhawks on Friday evening and looked to improve their win streak to 3 games. Our Spiros Skidopoulos has more.
Thanks, guys. I'm here outside Assembly Hall, where the Hoosiers just hosted the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. Miles Rice and Malik Renew came to play, starting the game 8-0 with 4 points each. The Hoosiers' defense limited Miami to make one of their first 8 shots, giving IU a 14-3 lead in the first 5 minutes. Miami would work their way back into the game and end the first half only down by 3. In the second half, Indiana looked to push the scoring margin even further, but would struggle to pull away. Ultimately, the Hoosiers led the entire game and earned a gutsy victory, 76-57.
We had, I think, 4 turnovers coming down the stretch of that first half that gave them the opportunity to get back into the game. And you go in up 3, you got to give them credit because, again, we controlled it early, but we let it slip away. And these are growing pains, man. We got to just, when you get a team down, you got to just keep stepping and building. And we just didn't do that early on.
Impact players for the Hoosiers were Malik Renew, who had 19 points and 7 rebounds, and Miles Rice. Additionally, Umar Ballo scored his first double-double as a Hoosier with 14 points and 18 rebounds. That's all for me out here. Back to the studio, guys.
Thanks, Spiro. The Hoosiers open up Big Ten play as they host the Minnesota Golden Gophers tonight at 6:30 in Assembly Hall. You can find that game on the Big Ten Network.
The Indiana Hoosiers, fresh off of back-to-back wins, took on the Penn State Lady Lions at the Bryce Jordan Center in the Big Ten opener. The Hoosiers saw an 8-point deficit early in the first quarter, but due to stellar 3-point shooting, they kept it within 1 heading into the second quarter. In the second, Caroline Striplin took control and scored 3 straight buckets as the Hoosiers and the Lady Lions were knotted up at 30 apiece by halftime. In the third quarter, it was the Striplin show as she scored 13 of Indiana's 19 points in the quarter. Striplin led the scoring for the Hoosiers with 27 points on a perfect 12 for 12 shooting. Indiana beat Penn State 75-60 and will host Bellarmine in Bloomington on Sunday.
The wrestling team was in Indianapolis on Friday for the Big Ten Takedown. They faced off against the number 11 ranked squad in the country, the Illinois Fighting Illini. Indiana opened up the match with a 3-0 lead after Jacob Moran earned a 5-2 decision win. After this match, it was Indiana seeing themselves being dominated and losing every match after the first. Indiana would get some sense of hope in the second-to-last match where Gabe Sollers of Indiana kept it close with Zach Bronigal, but ultimately lost to a 10-9 decision. The Hoosiers' last man was Jacob Bullock, where he lost to a fall at 5 minutes and 52 seconds, and the Hoosiers went home with their heads down as they lost 34-3 against the Fighting Illini.
The playoff field is set and the Indiana Hoosiers are in. The Hoosiers will travel to South Bend to take on the Fighting Irish for an in-state rivalry playoff game. The Hoosiers, if they win that game, they will take on the SEC champion Georgia Bulldogs. And for one last time, Henry, take it away.
It is once again that time of the week. It is the Heartland Picks. It is a beautiful thing because we have one of the greatest things in college football, a massive playoff. We have a playoff bracket, and this is how I see it playing out right here. Starting in the first round, I have Clemson going into Austin, Texas, and falling to the SEC runner-up Texas Longhorns. Up next, the Volunteers of Tennessee will go into Columbus, Ohio. I have the Buckeyes advancing in a very close game. The ACC runner-up SMU will go into a Penn State whiteout. SMU has been good this year, but a whiteout is too much for any team. Give me Penn State to move on. Finally, it's the biggest game in state history. It's Indiana going into South Bend to take on Notre Dame. I got to stick with the hometown Hoosiers going into Notre Dame Stadium and taking down the Irish. The Hoosiers move on. In the Peach Bowl, I have Arizona State defeating Texas and continuing their amazing turnaround. And in the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl, I have the Ducks taking down the Buckeyes. Remember, the Ducks fans travel well to Pasadena, just down the 5. Seeing Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl means all things are right in the world. Give me Boise State with another Fiesta Bowl win. The Hoosiers will go to the Sugar Bowl, but the SEC champion Bulldogs, despite an injured quarterback, will still be too much for them. Georgia will be moving on to the semifinal. Arizona State and Oregon will face off in the semifinal Cotton Bowl in a Pac-12 rematch, and Oregon will advance to the national championship. And on the other side, in the Orange Bowl, Georgia's location advantage to this will allow its fans to travel well. The Bulldogs will go back to its third national championship in 4 years. Finally, it's the most anticipated college football national title game of all time. We've had 4 rounds to get here, 12 teams in it. It'll be the Ducks and the Bulldogs. And I have the team that's been the best team in football all year, the Oregon Ducks, to win it all. And with that, that's it from the Heartland for the semester. Thank you for listening to this. And here's to a fantastic college football playoff. Oof, I need a ventilator after that one.
Well, just like that, our 5 minutes are up. I'm Cooper Schoenberg.
Make sure to catch us on Wednesday for all of your preview of Hoosier sports, and thank you for joining us.